Hey folks, it's Greg and Janet, and we have a really cool surprise for you today. We are at Palm Eastern Cemetery in Las Vegas, Nevada on Eastern Road, and we are here to see the Kid, also known as Stu Ungar, also known as the greatest poker player of all time. Come join us. Beloved father Stuart E. Ungar, September 8th, 1953, November 22nd, 1999. A great person, but a greater loss. Stuart Errol Ungar was an American professional poker, blackjack, and gin rummy player. He was widely regarded to have been the greatest Texas Hold'em and gin player of all time. He was known as the Kid or the Comeback Kid. Stuart Errol Ungar was born September 8, 1953 in Manhattan, New York. He died November 22, 1998 at the age of 45 in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was the holder of 5 World Series of Poker bracelets. He finished in the winnings 15 times. He won the World Series of Poker in 1980, 1981, and 1997. He's one of only 2 people in the history to have won the World Series of Poker main event 3 times. He's also the only person to win Amarillo Slim's Super Bowl of Poker 3 times. He's also one of 4 players in poker history to win consecutive titles in the World Series of Poker main event, along with Johnny Moss, Doyle Brunson, and Johnny Chan. Stu's father, Isidore, also known as Ido Ungar, was a bookmaker and loan shark who ran a bar and social club called Fox's Corner that doubled as a gambling establishment, exposing Stu to gambling at a young age. His father tried to keep him from gambling after seeing its effect on some of his customers, but Stu began playing anyhow in underground gin rummy games and quickly made a name for himself. He was a gifted child. He skipped the 7th grade and dropped out of school in the 10th grade. After Stu's father passed away in 1967 and his mother was virtually incapacitated by a stroke, he drifted around New York gambling until age 18, when he was befriended by reputed organized crime figure Victor Romano. Romano was one of the best card players of his time. The two developed a close relationship, and Romano served as his mentor and protector. Stu was very arrogant and would routinely criticize out loud the play of other opponents he felt were beneath him, which included just about anyone. One of his famous sayings is, "I never want to be called a good loser. Show me a good loser and I'll show you just another loser." He won a local gin tournament at the age of 10. He dropped out of school to play gin rummy in the 1960s full-time to support his mother and sister after his father died, and regularly began winning tournaments which earned him $10,000 or more. By 1976, he was regarded as one of the best players in New York City and the state of New York. He eventually had to leave New York due to gambling debts at local racetracks. He moved to Miami for a while and then left Miami for Las Vegas, where he reunited with Madeline Wheeler, a former girlfriend who would become his wife in 1982. Actually, the reason he took up poker exclusively was because the gin action had dried up because he was such a skilled player. He would destroy anyone who challenged him in a gin match, including a professional widely regarded as the best gin player of Ungar's generation, Harry Yonke Stein. Unger beat Stein 86 games to none in high-stakes game of Hollywood gin. Shortly after he arrived in Las Vegas, Unger defeated professional gambler Billy Baxter for $40,000. Baxter said that when Unger first entered the room, he didn't believe he was his opponent because of Unger's youthful looks and small stature. He also said during the match, a Coca-Cola crate had to be placed on Unger's chair so he could reach the table. Stu Ungar had a prodigy-level IQ and a photographic memory, which contributed to his blackjack card counting abilities, which were so sharp he was frequently banned from playing in casinos. He was eventually unable to play blackjack in Las Vegas or anywhere else. In 1977, Stu Ungar was bet $100,000 by Bob Stupak, an owner and designer of casinos. Bob Stupak's the one that built the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino and Tower in Las Vegas. But Bob Stupak bet Unger $100,000 that he could not count down a 6-deck shoe of cards and determine what the final card in the shoe was. Unger won the bet. In 1982, Stu Ungar was accused of cheating while playing blackjack in Atlantic City. The casino said that Unger was capping his bets, putting extra chips on winning hands after it was over to be paid out more, something he vehemently denied. The fine for his offense was $500. Unger knew if he paid the fine, he was admitting guilt, and that it would ruin his reputation as a poker player. So he went to court, and although it cost him $50,000 in court fees, he won his case and did not have to pay the fine. In 1997, a near-broke Unger convinced the management at the Lady Luck Hotel and Casino to let him play single-deck blackjack. Since Unger was a known card counter, the casino manager agreed on the condition that his bet would have a high and low limit. They figured that that would destroy his ability to have a house advantage counting cards. However, Stu Ungar went on a winning streak because of his card counting abilities and was able to rack up a bankroll of $300,000 over the course of 6 months playing at the casino, but he eventually busted out.
That's why he's called the comeback kid?
Well, you know, I think he was called the comeback kid more than anything because he won his first 2 World Series of Poker titles in 81 and 82, or 80 and 81, and then he won his last one in 1997. So there was a 15 or 16 year time frame between winning the World Series of Poker. Unger and his wife Madeline divorced in 1986. His son Richie committed suicide in 1989, shortly after his high school prom. By then, Unger had developed a drug problem, which had escalated to such point that during the World Series of Poker main event in 1990, he was found on the 3rd day of the tournament unconscious on the floor of his hotel room from a drug overdose. However, he had such a chip lead that even when the dealers kept taking his blinds out every round, Unger still made the final table and finished 9th, pocketing $25,000. On November 20th, 1998, Stu Ungar checked into room number 6 at the Oasis Motel, a budget motel located at the end of the Las Vegas Strip. Unger paid just $48 a night for 2 nights. On November 22nd, he was found in the room dead, lying on the floor. He was fully clothed with the TV off. Professional poker player Doyle Brunson was quoted as saying, "Everybody felt terrible, but it wasn't a surprise." When his body was found, he had $800 of a $25,000 advance from Bob Stupak, who a month earlier Unger had signed a contract with to pay off debts and finance his tournament play in exchange for future winnings. An autopsy showed traces of drugs in Stu's system, but not enough to have directly caused his death. It was determined that a heart condition brought on by years of drug use had finally taken Stu Ungar's life. One of the things about Stu Ungar was that as much money as he won in the World Series of Poker and in playing gin and blackjack, he always lost the money. Most of the time it was on betting on horses and sports. I don't understand how somebody who was the world's greatest poker and gin player would ever want to play anything else, especially when it's sports, when you really have no control over what the athletes do. You have no say in, give me 2 more cards, I'll take 2 more cards, I want to get rid of these. It's whatever happens in the sporting event. He obviously had a drug addiction and a gambling addiction. It's a shame that such a brilliant person died at such a young age when he had so much left to offer, but such is life, I guess. So anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell for notifications. Please share these videos. And beautiful lady, do you want to add anything?
Oh, just, I feel bad about this guy. He was only 45 and he had a problem. And people in Vegas, you know, they always have problems, gambling and drugs and whatever. So I feel bad.
Yeah, if you have an addictive personality, this is not the place for you to live.
Yeah,
so
don't come here.
Anyhow, you guys take it easy. We'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.